वासुदेवाय. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrutyam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devi Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatim Uttama Shloke Bhaktirabhavati Naishtaki. Vendraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. So we're reading Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 28th chapter, titled as Kapiladev's Instructions to Mata Devhuti on the Devotional Service. In this shloka, Kapiladev is explaining to Mata Devhuti about Acintya-Bhedābheda-Tattva, which is the difference between the Atma and Paramatma, the soul and the super soul. In the previous shloka, we learned that when the devotee is firmly situated in Krishna consciousness, he does not identify himself with the body, and all his activities, even though they appear to be ordinary, like the common man, but they are not on the material platform, but they are on the spiritual platform. A devotee, although he is working hard just like any other person, but he works for pleasure of Krishna. Like Arjuna was fighting the war on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and other fighters like Duryodhana was also fighting the war. Both of them were fighting, but Arjuna was fighting for satisfaction of Lord Krishna, while Duryodhana was fighting the war for himself. So here we can see that even though the activities of devotee may appear just like ordinary person's activities, but they are not ordinary as they are situated on the spiritual platform for the satisfaction of Krishna. So a devotee identifies oneself with as servant of Krishna rather than the enjoyer or the master. Now in this shloka further, the devotee's thought process is explained here in this shloka number 41. Here Kapila Devi is saying to Mata Devhuti, Bhutendriya taha karanat pradhana jiva samjinivetat atma tatha prathak drashta bhagavan brahma samknitaha. Translation: the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is also known as Paramatma, is the seer. He is different from Jiva soul or individual living entity, who is combined with the senses, five elements, and consciousness. So here, Kapiladev is explaining the definition of Paramatma. Paramatma is the one who is watching on everybody, seer. And Paramatma is different than Atma, the soul or the individual living entity. Because this individual living entity is in contact with the material nature, which is composed of five material senses, five elements: earth, water, air, fire, ether, and then there is the consciousness. So this is the difference between the Atma and Paramatma. Now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has explained this difference between Atma and Paramatma by a concept of Acintya-Bhedābheda-Tattva, which Srila Prabhupada explains in this purport. So, purport Srila Prabhupada says, the clear conception of the complete whole is given herewith. The living entity is different from the material elements, and the supreme living entity, the personality of Godhead, who is the creator of material elements, is also different from individual living entity. So, Srila Prabhupada ji is explaining here that Atma is different than the material elements. Atma is different than earth, water, air, fire, ether. Atma is different than the five objects of senses. And Paramatma, who is the creator of the material elements, all the material elements, there are 24 material elements. All of them are created by Paramatma. However, even though Paramatma is the creator, he is not affected by these material elements. This philosophy is explained by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and propagated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Achintya-Bhedābheda-Tattva. So, Achintya-Bheda-Abhed. This is a very important concept to understand Krishna consciousness. This means that simultaneously one but different. So, what is simultaneously one but different means? Atma and Paramatma, they are simultaneously one but different, which means that Atma, even though has the qualities of Paramatma, Atma cannot become Paramatma. Just like a drop of ocean has the some qualities of ocean, which is like saltiness. So ocean has saltiness and drop of that same ocean also has saltiness. But the difference is that the amount of salt in the ocean is much higher than what is there in the drop. So the drop may be equal in quality to the ocean, which is in saltiness, but the quantity of salt is different. Similarly, Atma and Paramatma, the difference is that Atma has some qualities of Paramatma, but those qualities are minuscule, very tiny, while Paramatma is the source of innumerable qualities. Everything is coming from Krishna. So we can see that it is simultaneously one but different. This is Achintya Bhedābheda-Tattva. Further, Srila Prabhupada is explaining the cosmic manifestation created by Supreme Lord by his material energy is also simultaneously different and not different from him. So, this material world, we can see that sun is sending us the light and the energy. So, sun is coming from Krishna. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that sun is one of his manifestation of divine energy. Now, sun as it coming from Krishna is energy of Krishna. But Krishna is much more powerful than the sun himself. There are millions of suns actually. One sun may give the light to this universe, but there are multiple suns giving lights to multiple universes. So, this sun, even though it's energy of Krishna, it is not Krishna because Krishna is something bigger than one sun. Right? So, here, Srila Prabhupada is saying that the cosmic manifestation created by Supreme Lord Supreme Lord by his energy is simultaneously different and not different from him. The material energy is not different from Supreme Lord, but at the same time, because energy is acting in different way, it is different from him. Similarly, individual living entity is one with and different from the Supreme Lord. This is simultaneously one but different. Achintya-Bhedābheda-Tattva. And this is the philosophy which is given to us by Kapila Dev. Kapila Dev is incarnation of Lord Krishna, appearing as son of Devahuti and Kardama Muni. Further, Srila Prabhupada is explaining the living entities are compared to the spark of a fire. As stated in the previous verse, fire, flame, smoke, and firewood are combined together. Here, the living entity, the material elements, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead are combined together. The exact position of living entity is just like that of a spark of a fire. They are part and parcel. So when there is a fire, then there is a small spark which comes out of the fire. That spark which comes out of the fire is, even though part and parcel of the fire, it is not the whole fire because fire is much bigger than the spark coming out of it. The exact position of living entity is just like that of the spark of fire. They are just part and parcel, not the whole. Material energy is compared to the smoke. The fire is also part and parcel of Supreme Lord. In Vishnu Puran, it is said that whatever we can see or experience, either in the material or spiritual world, is an expansion of different energies of Supreme Personality of Godhead. As fire distributes its light and heat from one place, the Supreme Personality of Godhead distributes his different energies all over his creation. So, Krishna, just like fire in the middle will distribute the heat all over, similarly, Krishna will dissipate his energy in all the planetary systems. There are this one universe, but there are innumerable universes, and Krishna is distributing his energy everywhere. The four principles of Vaishnava philosophy doctrine are Shuddha Advaita, purified oneness, Dvaita Advaita, simultaneously one and different, Vishishta Advaita, and Dvaita. So these are four principles of Dvaitavad. So which is that Shuddha Advaita. Shuddha Advaita is purified oneness. Then Dvaita Advaita, which is Acintya-Bhedābheda-Tattva. Then Vishishta Advaita and Dvaita. So these four principles are based on the thesis of Srimad Bhagavatam explained in this two verse. So here you can see that Srila Prabhupada is explaining in detail about Acintya-Bhedābheda-Tattva. And simultaneously he is explaining about four prominent schools of Vaishnava philosophy, which are referenced here as Shuddha Advaita, which means purified oneness, Dvaita Advaita, simultaneously one but different, Vishishta Advaita, qualified oneness, and Dvaita, which is duality. But anyhow, the Jiva, the individual soul, is always remains part and parcel of Supreme Soul, Krishna. Krishna says that in Bhagavad Gita, Mamevansho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana Manashastani Indriyani Prakriti Sthani Karshati. So, a living entity always will remain fragmental part and parcel of Krishna. So, this provides a clear understanding of relationship between Atma and Paramatma, as well as the different energies of Lord, material and spiritual energies. And the purpose of all the energies is to serve Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna. So with that, we'll pause for today's study and we'll continue study of Srimad Bhagavatam tomorrow. Randraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai.